Warning: coarse language, profanity, hot button topics, social issues. This content is not for the thin-skinned, the easily offended, and/or a conservative audience. We swear a lot, and you might get your feelings hurt. Viewer discretion is advised.
So what do you think about this war, man?
Which one, over in Ukraine?
Yeah.
Couple things. One, you've got a guy who's obviously power tripping. This is Putin, and then really he's boxed himself into a corner. Because if he withdraws, then they're, his people are going to see him as weak, and they're going to take him out.
Right.
He's onto this whole thing about basically trying to reconstitute the old Soviet Union or the old Russian Empire type of thing,
Right.
or whatever. And so I think it's important that that at least what we're doing in terms of our country and some of the other Western countries and stuff like that is stopping them there. Because if you let them keep going, and then he's going to be like, well, they didn't stop me there, so I'm going to annex this, and this. The problem is, he's got more nukes than anybody else. He's got more than we do.
Right.
So,
they got all the uranium over there.
I'm sorry?
They got all the uranium over there.
There's some over there too. It's just like between us and the Russians, there's enough nuclear warheads between us to blow the Earth up 10 times over.
Right.
Situation like that, nobody wins.
So what are those things that's been flying over that they've been shooting down?
Where, over in Ukraine, you mean, with the drones?
No, over in America.
There was some weather, some spy balloons, and then a couple of them were some weather balloons. But people don't realize that. Hundreds of weather balloons get released, every single day. Like in order to track the atmosphere and
Right.
all sorts of stuff. Now, of course, there was the one that the Chinese had set off, and apparently that wasn't the first one or the second one. In the last several years, between this administration and the previous administration, that had been flying over and stuff like that. And people are like all bent out of shape about it. Oh, Democrats or Republicans, this and that. But you know what? At the end of the day, you know who the biggest players are in the spy game on this planet?
Us. Right.
Yeah,
Right.
So it's just like, don't get your panties all up in a bunch when, they're spying on us, but we're spying on them too.
Right. Now I know we're gonna get into political stuff.
Yeah.
Man. I like to be unpolitically correct.
Right.
The opposite of Bill Maher. It's a dangerous thing. This is a dangerous game they playing, man. And see, pretty soon, man, you got politics, religion, and all that shit, man. I try to stay away from it because I have my own personal views. I'm a spiritual man.
And I'm kind of the same way. I try to stay away from it as much as I can, but it's also, this is my own point of view. You also got to be aware of what's going on around you too.
Right. That's what I'm saying. You have to be aware. Like, this shit is real.
Right.
However, I do think what I want to say on that. I do think, okay, man, shit, we here right now, so we here. So You know, I'm an avid reader of the holy books.
Okay.
I do believe in God.
As do I.
Now, not to offend anyone, religion is full of shit. Religion is full of shit.
Yeah. Yeah, remember, religion is a man-made construct.
Right. So, in saying that, to my Muslim brothers, I'm not Muslim. I understand why they say we're Muslim. Okay. I am a Christian, but not the way they think I'm a Christian.
Right.
Because, Christ, I think, was a real person. I believe him to be. If he's not, then the wool has been pulled definitely over my eye. I know there was a creator. And if Christ walked this earth, because the reason I really know, because I believe, but Christ is not a mythical figure. But what makes him so amazing to me is that there's not a negative word ever been said about him.
This is true. Yep.
So that's what makes him real to me, because there's something negative said about everyone, even the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, all the leaders of Islam, all the leaders in Hinduism, everybody, all the leaders, there was some negative connotation about them. But you ain't never really heard nothing negative about the Christ.
Check this out. So, all the things that Jesus, or if you want to go by his Aramaic name, was teaching, back then.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody were saying the same things now, be kind to your neighbor, clothe the poor, feed the hungry and stuff like that.
Right.
They would call him a leftist hippie.
Right.
Or socialists or whatever.
Right.
So, it's funny, like these same people who are like, oh, that's socialism, this and that, are the same ones who claim to be evangelical, born again Christians.
Right.
I was thinking to myself, you do realize, like all these nasty things that you're saying about people, and keep in mind, we all know that there was all sorts of excess during the time of the Romans, when they were in charge of Judea back then. Rampant, paganism, homosexuality, like what have you, ain't nothing in the scriptures, at least from what people recorded of what Yeshua was saying, that he wasn't like, oh well, don't associate with these people, or like he was just like all inclusive, just talking like, hey, we're all here to be serving the Most High and being nice to each other,
right,
et cetera, et cetera. And that's the thing that people fail to realize, is because once again they kind of get into this whole thing, like in terms of this whole construct of what the religion is supposed to be and how it fits into their narrative. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So, well, so check this out. Like I said, because people will get pissed off, whoever. I really don't give a shit.
Right.
The Pope.
So depending on who you ask, and that is, so basically, people who part of the Catholic Church, believe that the Pope is in line in terms of succession of the starter of the church from Peter.
From Peter.
Now you have some other people and I'm not trying to offend anybody, but you do
Right,
have those out there who are like, well, the Pope's the Antichrist,
right,
um, and yeah, and they base that saying like in the that Pope refers to Father or his Father in Latin, Holy Father, whatever.
right,
Um, I don't get into all that. I mean, like, if somebody, I try not to knock anybody's faith. If it makes you a better person and
right,
you're not out there shitting on other people, then,
right,
you can, I don't care if you go to church on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, which direction you pray in, what robes you wear, whatever.
right,
Just let me let be. Just leave me alone because I'm not really trying to hear,
right,
about about why you feel as though your path is the right way. If you're nice to me, I'm gonna be nice back to you. If you're respectful towards me, I'm gonna be respectful, towards you. We can
right,
agree to disagree on some of the fundamental stuff, and we go on about our business. Because I'm
right,
pretty sure there's
right,
a lot of other stuff we do have in common that we can talk about.
right. Now, see, Jaja, this one thing what I don't like about people. One thing is all religion. Like I say, I done studied them all. Well,
Right,
I've researched them all. I ain't gonna say all of them because I don't get into demonic Satanism.
right,
So, but we're talking about the uplifting religions. What I would say, what word am I looking for?
and I tell you the truth, I don't think you can really put a category on them. Of course, you
Well,
have the
yeah,
Abrahamic religions.
yeah,
But you have some of the Eastern religions too, such as Buddhism and Taoism,
right,
Confucianism, and stuff
right,
like that. And and those are all about balance and harmony and stuff like that. So I'm not going to
right.
crap on
So,
those. And then, of course, you
with
got
my
some of
point,
the faiths from from the Americas, going back to native populations. They believe in the Great Spirit. So
right,
there are a lot of different ones out there.
right. So my thing is, so whatever you want to call it, like I said, if I don't like religions,
Right,
all of them have one uniformity, and that there is positive. It's positive. That's the one uniformity about it. It's some type of love there,
right,
right? Um, so that's what I mean by the faiths, not the
okay.
religions, the faiths,
Faiths, okay. I can get down with that. The
right?
faiths.
The faiths. They
Right,
all have some enlightenment towards it.
right.
Like I said, whether it be Buddhism, Catholicism, whatever. Now, like I said, we can talk about Catholicism all day long. You know,
Right.
all day long we can talk about Catholicism and all the homosexuality and the childs and all that. See,
Oh,
but that's the bad,
pedophilia, yeah.
right?
But you know
That's
what?
the
It's just not the
bad,
Catholic Church either, because that goes on in some of the other, dare I say, Protestant Reformation churches, as well, where you've got people who are in power, clergy and stuff like that, messing with young boys, just young girls and stuff like that. So,
right? So that's where I'm saying that like I said, faiths. All the faiths I can get down with to a certain degree.
right,
At least part of it. I'm not with them. Or because I don't, like I have my own preference or whatever. We're not going to speak on that. We're not talking about that. But
right,
the concept that there is something greater than yourself, that there was a creator.
right.
Because you could tell by design, you didn't know human created this shit.
No,
I ain't met a motherfucker that can create a tree yet.
All right. Or for that matter, I'm taking a step further as to you ever notice, like even with the way that we screw the planet up, how the plants always seem to know when to come out of hibernation.
Right,
Um, I mean, like you got certain types of insects or birds or like animals, whatever, that come out of hibernation at just the right time because
Right.
these food sources are going to be available and this and that. It's a bigger design than anything that a person could come up with, and this shit's been going on for a lot longer than we've been around.
Right. Well, Mufasa said it best when he explained it to Simba. The circle of life.
Circle of life, right?